Alright guys, I know I'm late to this party, but I'm finally ready to give you my thoughts on the full Darkhold team in the mirror match. When you win the coin flip, when you lose the coin flip, when you replace Scarlet Witch with Dormammu, she is the one to be replaced, and if we're going to be able to beat this team without doing the mirror matchup. It's a really tough team. So first things first, we should talk about ISO 8 and positioning, because that feels like the most important aspect of this team in the mirror matchup. And also T4s. I'll touch on T4s a little bit, but where you could really find information about T4s is these great infographics that me and a friend of mine make, Jedi Matroza, probably said that wrong, but we have all of our thoughts on the characters coming out. Right now we have to Wong done, we're going to have Agatha done soon before her release, and then we'll have one for Morgan, then we'll have a team one, so you can really find out like T4 priority and how valuable they are there. I digress, let's talk about what we got right now. So, for positioning, I like Wong in the corner with Scarlet Witch, Strange in the middle, Agatha in the back behind the Doctor Strange, and Morgan in the corner. This is only for Arena. The reason it's important that this is only for Arena is because in Arena, Agatha's basic calls in 2 assists from adjacent allies. When not in Arena, we're going to switch it up. Let's talk about ISO 8. So, Wong, 100% a striker. That cleanse is so important in making sure you maintain a debuff advantage that you're going to be able to roll through the enemy teams. Scarlet Witch, I have her as a raider. I like the vulnerable she can throw out when she does her ultimate if she gets to use it. Otherwise, she's kind of useless, so it doesn't quite matter what you put on her in the event that the enemy Morgan wins the coin flip. So I like raider, extra vulnerables, pretty good damage. Definitely you can make an argument for Skirmisher to make sure that she actually extends buffs and lands the defense down. I would fully be on board with that. Then we have Doctor Strange, definitely a raider, huge source of damage. If you can kill an enemy and get that offense up, his next turn with the raider bonuses is gonna crush. Love raider on him. Agatha, this is going to be another slightly controversial one. You need to have her as a skirmisher. I know she is the #1 focus in the game right now. However, in the practice, she was still struggling to land her abilities on the enemy Morgan because of that defense up, and because Morgan actually gives a 50% resist bonus that overpowers the 50% focus Agatha gives. So Agatha gives 50%, Morgan gives 50% focus, Morgan gives 100% resistance. So she still needs to have that skirmisher. It's going to be very important. And worst case scenario what's going to happen is Agatha's going to get a vulnerable up in time for Wong to do an extra peel of a debuff. You're going to see in these videos how that is so important. And finally, Morgan, this is going to be another controversial one. I've been talking a lot with Reminex, Numa, and Bacon, a couple other creators, and we've been pretty split on this. I'm a strong proponent of having her as a striker. You're going to see in the video the crazy amount of damage she can do with her striker ISO plus the ISO attack. But for the same reason Agatha makes a good skirmisher, Morgan does too. It's really hard for Morgan to land her opening ability block on the enemy Morgan without skirmisher. I've had enough success doing it that I'm comfortable leaving her as a striker. And even when it doesn't land, I've had enough success killing very quickly because of her striker attack that I still think striker pulls ahead, even when you factor in whether it'll help you or hurt you in landing the ability block on her first ability. Anyway, so that's what I like for the arena positioning and ISO 8. And then for everywhere else, like I said, we're just going to flip Morgan and Agatha. This is going to make Morgan always be the person that Agatha calls in. So let's look at the Darkhold mirror match when you win the coin flip. So pretty obviously, we're going to be attacking the Morgan. We want to kill the Morgan, but most importantly, we want to land this ability block on her. If we do that, then we're pretty much going to walk away with this matchup. So we go ahead, we land that. Now it's important to note, so enemy Agatha and enemy Strange both had 0 debuffs, so Morgan turn meter rebound them by, I think it's 30%. There's so much turn meter manipulation going on between that ability, between Strange's special, between Morgan's passive. It's hard to keep track, and that's where a lot of the chaos in this matchup comes from. You're gonna have to, like you just are, be able to work on the fly. Because if Wong's not positioned here and it's somebody else, well then that person would have had the debuffs and not got the turn meter rewind. So they're going to go at a different arrangement than you're used to. So that's one of the reasons why I liked Wong as a striker the most. Because of the unknown, him being able to cleanse debuffs, most importantly slows, lets you maintain your advantage. I'm going to try not to pause it too much, otherwise we're going to be here for too long. I'm going to turn meter rewind Morgan some more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the ultimate here. You could be tempted to use the stun on Morgan here. She had very little turn meter. And if you do land that stun from Agatha, Morgan's passive, where she gives 10% speed to all of her team, is no longer active when she's stunned, apparently. That comes from the devs. I haven't had enough time to really test and make sure that's the case, but that is apparently the case. And then you can make a runaway with this. Instead, what I did is I like to do the ultimate. It helps you brace for incoming damage. And then you want to target Wong with it to make sure he is vulnerable for your Wong to probably use his basic against and get 2 cleanses instead of 1. In this matchup, I was fortunate enough that my team didn't have any debuffs. So I went ahead and I taunted with Wong instead using that ultimate. But normally there's going to be more debuffs. You're going to want to use the basic. So as you see, because of Striker on Morgan, I'm actually doing a lot more damage than I found I was doing with Skirmisher. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to be able to push this Wong into his stealth phase, minus less than 30% life. He's going to drop his taunt, and then I'm going to be able to turn on the Morgan. So I believe that's going to happen right here. Does a big hit, he drops below 30, so he drops his taunt, and now Morgan is actually able to stun... Agatha is now able to stun Morgan. Sorry guys, I know I'm killing the names here. They're all like tongue twister for some reason. So they're no longer getting speed. I had the thought of killing Morgan here, but I see that defense down, so I use the absolutely insane damage from the Striker of Morgan Le Fay, and I take that Scarlet Witch out. Now I have the 5v4 advantage. I have a balance that I can still pull it on my Scarlet Witch if I so choose. Let's see what happens here. I only have 2 debuffs on Strange. I go for the special on Morgan. I thought maybe I can kill her. I couldn't. She gets pushed into her stealth phase, but at least that's out of the way. She's still stunned, so she's still not going to use her special on me. And since we won the coin flip, we've actually kept her CC'd this entire time. She's not going to use her special anyway. She's actually going to open up with her ultimate. I could have rebalanced there and got my Wong a lot healthier. I chose not to because I could kill the Wong with my Scarlet Witch. That's perfectly acceptable. And as you see, we're just walking away with this now. We killed Scarlet Witch with that insane Striker combo damage from Morgan. Wong dropped just because we've beaten him up along the way. And then we killed Morgan, who was the target we wanted to kill more than anybody. So we got that done. Now we'll rebalance, make this matchup look really pretty in the end. We're going to look pretty healthy after it's all said and done. And then more insane damage from Morgan. So let's look at the matchup when you lose the coin flip. And it's not a game breaker. It's really not. So another reason I liked having Strange in the middle is because it helped him get debuffs, so he would actually go after the enemy Strange. Didn't happen here, but the enemy Strange turned me to rebound my Scarlet Witch, and now we have, look at all the debuffs we have. So obviously they had a big advantage on us. It's important to note that because the enemy won the coin flip, trauma was put on my Morgan right away, and then she goes right after. So she actually drops the trauma. If in the match where you win the coin flip, you go to ability block Morgan and she doesn't, or she resists your ability block, it causes problems because then enemy Morgan puts ability block and trauma on you, and then the enemy Scarlet Witch can extend it. In my testing, I found that even if my ability block didn't land on the Morgan, like 99% of the time it did land on the Scarlet Witch, so I didn't have to worry about it being extended, and it would just drop off after that. The problem became Wong wasn't cleansing my Morgan. We'll see. You're going to see the cleanse come in clutch here as we go. So I turn me to rewind the enemy Morgan. I target the Wong. I put a vulnerable on him. I pepper the enemy team with debuffs. And now with Wong, you see he's programmed to use his ultimate, so his team holds other debuffs. I basic. I drop 2 debuffs from my entire team, including Scarlet Witch. Now I just drop the enemy's entire speed bar, and Morgan has slow. It's going to take her a long time to get that ability off. I now use the ultimate. It puts ability block on all controllers, so Morgan still has that ability block now. and I'm going to be able to get ahead and walk away with this. I didn't use Agatha's stun on Wong. I used the basic. It did extra damage, calling an assist from Morgan, who's a striker. Huge damage. He's now being pushed to stealth. No longer worried about that taunt whatsoever. I get to pick my kill target now. So you saw that Wong striker advantage was huge in letting me turn the tide after losing the coin flip. He's so important as your striker. And there you go. So we no longer have defense up on Morgan or on Scarlet Witch, so we're going to get to do a lot of damage here. Now we'll use the stun. So we held the stun, we ended up throwing it there. Morgan is basically out of this fight. Enemy Doctor Strange doesn't do that much damage if he doesn't have offense up. Same with your Strange. I know the conventional wisdom is he's going to be a huge damage dealer. It just didn't seem to be the case in the testing. So we use our striker advantage. And just look at how much damage it did to her. And now she's gone. So now it's a 4v5. We're full life. They're half life. They just lost a huge source of control and just damage. So we're going to be able to walk away from this. Notice the time though. The last match I think ended at 2 minutes. This one's going to take a little bit longer because we did lose that coin flip. This matchup will be long, but not 5 minutes long. This matchup, the longest it ever took me was about 3.5 minutes, and that was when you lost the coin flip. The fastest I won it was 1.5 minutes, and that was just kind of like Morgan was just destroying people all over the place. So I think that's pretty much on par with Infinity Watch. If you know what you're doing and you're very seasoned in the matchup, you should get through it without having to worry about the time running out. So now we continue. Wong's going to cleanse everything pretty soon, or maybe the enemy's going to be completely dead. It's completely possible as well. There goes Wong. We use the special, I guess, just for some fun damage. There's the cleanse. See, we dropped a bunch of slows. Turn meter is how you win these matchups. I use the basic. It does more damage than the special does. And Wong's just dead. And then here goes Agatha comes in for the kill. And there you go. So that's if you lose the coin flip. Let's look at the Darkhold versus Dormammu Darkhold team. I only got one crack at this. The only one person in the arena on the playtest had this done. It was early on in my testing. So it looks like my positioning is actually correct. I don't know. I think I still have the correct ISOs. But yeah, I only got one crack at this because I did beat it first time, which is good news. And then I just can't get another crack at it. So as you see there, I lost the coin flip in this matchup, but my Morgan resisted it. I'm interested to see what this enemy Morgan is. Let's just, well, we'll see when we target her. I want to see if she's a skirmisher or a striker. So what I found in this matchup was most important was just killing the Dormammu. If your ultimate from Morgan does strip him of all his buffs, that's great. If not, like you saw mine just didn't, you're still going to be okay. You're going to drop him into stealth, which is annoying, but then he's going to pull himself. You're going to be fine because you have safeguard is essentially what I'm trying to get at. So the enemy Wong here is a skirmisher. He's not going to be cleansing a lot of buffs because of that, so I like this. And you see, this is one of literally the first times I use this, so I'm kind of reading the abilities as we go. So I did use the ultimate there, that's good. And I actually got a turn meter advantage on the enemy Morgan, so I get to use the special first. We're stuck behind the Wong now. So unfortunately, I didn't get a vulnerable up on this Wong in time to make it double tap. That could be a sign of my... Yeah, you see, I should have used the basic there as well. That would have called in Wong, which would have cleansed my Scarlet Witch of that offense down. So this damage from her ultimate, which I assume I'm going to do here, would have been a little bit more. And I also would have gotten an assist from Morgan, which would have sapped life out of that Wong, pushing him to stealth faster, freeing me up from this taunt. Oh, I used the special there. Yeah, I really wish I got another shot at this one, but I just didn't. So that striker damage, you just saw what it did to that huge Wong, so this is great. And now we do the basic. Watch these two assists come in. There's one from Morgan, there's one from Wong, and now my Scarlet Witch is cleansed. The stealth is activated, and now it's go time. We're all pretty healthy, no debuffs, so I assume we're going to taunt here. We did taunt, we flipped everything because now there's no safeguard. Another great reason to hold on to that ultimate from Wong it flips everything, but not if there's Safeguard, right? Obviously not. Then my Doctor Strange got to ult, takes out that Dormammu who was in stealth, and then we're just going to start cleaning up. We do have to kill everybody twice. However, because we took advantage of the speed meter, we're able just to hold on to it. A big part of that is because of your Morgan's ultimate cooldown. It's very short. If you time the ultimate, then after that an Agatha stun or an extend from Scarlet Witch, and you just keep that enemy Morgan away from her abilities, you can really just kind of train your way to the victory here. And as always with every Dormammu team, make sure you're not killing somebody right before their turn, because then you're going to drop an ability block or drop the stun, and then they're actually going to do whatever they want to do to you, as opposed you leave them alive. They basic you, then you kill them the next chance you get. This one did take a lot longer because of Dormammu, and also because I was still learning the team. It seems like I do have Striker on Agatha still at this point. Skirmisher is way better. And you see Agatha, you're probably going to hit 2 ultimates with your Agatha. It's a super long cooldown, but it comes up really fast. Whereas Wong's ultimate, super long cooldown, you're going to use it once per fight. See, that was resisted. Agatha does have the offense down, plus she's not a skirmisher here. Makes it very difficult to land those. If I knew then what I know now, I would have basic there. It would have got 2 assists called in. Wong would have done a cleanse. Morgan would have just done huge damage. It's still going to work out fine, but that would have been the better call as opposed to just, you know, hoping to land all of Morgan or all of Agatha's debuffs on that special. Watch this assist damage come in now. Huge damage from Morgan, plus the cleanse from Wong is great. We're actually running out of time at 45 seconds. Nobody left but Agatha. I think she still has stealth and 1 life. That does seem to be the case, but we're going to get through it okay. Again, this was very early on in my testing. We don't have access to Dormammu on the test server unless we have him on the live server, so that's difficult to coordinate with somebody to let me do more testing on it. But happy to say, if you don't have Dormammu, you're going to be fine. Might take some practice, some tinkering with your positioning, your iso 8, but there are ways for your full Darkhold team to beat an enemy Darkhold team. Now let's look about Darkhold on war defense, because if you're in an alliance like mine, where you got to do some big punches from time to time, enemy alliances might slap Darkhold on defense to stop you from using your Darkhold against like a Dormammu team. Well, I'm here to tell you there is a better choice, and I would use Weapon X against Darkhold, and then I would use my Darkhold against any Dormammu team, because Darkhold destroys Dormammu, which is pretty cool. So, for the Weapon X matchup, it is losable. However, a lot of people are going to have really big Weapon X, and all you really need to do is you need to land your ability block on Morgan, and then kill Agatha. You're basically just going to spread bleeds everywhere, and people are going to die. Even with this defense down, you're going to be okay. So you see it go ahead, I throw the ability block on Morgan, and then I just go to Agatha, and I just start letting the bleeds land. This isn't the ISOs I use for my Weapon X either. I do like Raider on Sabretooth, but I would have liked to have Striker on Wolverine. So we turn me to rewind over there. Morgan finally drops her ability block, but my Omega Red is about to pop right back up with his ability block again. I guess he's stuck behind Wong here, but as you see, it doesn't matter. People have bled to death super quickly. And I think Wong might bleed to death here too. Yeah, there you go. So Weapon X still crushes it. You just gotta land the ability block on Morgan. So Omega Red Skirmisher might be a good call there. Another thing we should talk about is substitutes. And I'm just going to do this quickly because obviously I don't have anything prepared for this in the video. Substitutes for Scarlet Witch in the mirror matchup. We talked about Emma a lot. We talked about Loki a lot. I don't think they had the same benefit Scarlet Witch gave just because of that Darkhold tag. There was this Reddit thread like, hey, Scarlet Witch is fine. her biggest change was getting the tag. And I have to agree with that. She can take a hit better. She starts with that safeguard, which is so important. In my testing, when I used Emma, or I used Loki, or I used Silver Surfer, they never had the impact I thought they would. Even winning that mirror, or that coin flip, because I had Loki or because I had Emma, I still had a hard time landing the ability block, even with Morgan as a skirmisher. So I don't think that's worth it. So I think Scarlet Witch is still the best 5th, unless you have Dormammu, and then Dormammu will be the best 5th, because, well, he's Dormammu. And that's all I got to say about that. So, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you check out the infographics in my Discord server. I'll try and include those in the description below. If I forget, just ask me. I do see all the comments. Try and comment back to you, and I'll make sure to get you that if I forget. But anyway, as always, stay happy, healthy, have fun. I'll see you next time. Peace.